This afternoon I am going to try to clean out the carburetor on my little Nissan 4 horsepower engine. And what it actually has been doing is the engine has been idling just fine. It starts up fine, it idles just fine, but when you start to demand fuel to accelerate, it doesn't take long before it will just stall out like it's being fuel starved. And every time I mention it to somebody, they say that, well, when was the last time that you had your carburetor cleaned? Well, it's been 2.5, 3 years, and I'm told that that is far too long. It should be cleaned just about every year. So the carburetor is right in here, and I'm going to document taking all the pieces off. The first thing I'm going to do is remove some of the fuel lines, being careful to leave the clips on here. Come on, clip. So there's one fuel line comes off of there. Here's a vacuum line of some kind. We'll take that off the top. That's all of the fuel line part. I've got a throttle cable that will come off when I tilt it. Choke cable and a throttle cable. Let's see if I can get in here with this screwdriver. It's a little bit off center. Oop, that isn't going to work on that one. Let's see if it'll work on that one. It works on that one. I'll have to break this one loose with a wrench. Okay, I found the right size wrench. It's a 10mm. Oof, didn't want to fit though. Man, there's always some. Oop, that's the wrong way. That is a tight fit right there. Loosen it up enough to get the really like these ratcheted wrenches. So that was a 10mm. Go back to the Phillips head. That's just terrible placement. Okay, we have the bolts out. This is really irritating. Let me shove that back in there. Okay, so let's see how this thing comes apart. It's very light. Okay, so the throttle goes right into there. I'm going to just go ahead and take these bolts all the way out. So one bolt, two bolts. You know, apparently there's no gasket in between. There's no gasket in here. Ooh, that looks gunked up. I think that was a good call. That looks a little bit gunked up there. There's some thickness. So I probably am doing the right thing here. And so we will document taking this thing apart. Clean the bowl out there. So we got the carburetor off, and that took no time at all. It does look like, I mean, I see fuel on here, but it actually looks thick, like it has some oily residue. So hopefully I'm making the right call. We'll take this bowl off of here. Part of the reason I'm filming this is because I've never done it before, and this will help me to make sure that I know how it all goes back together. Okay, we got 2 screws there. A lot of fuel coming out. Ugh. So this is what it looks like. Wipe that up. I wasn't watching. I'm not sure whether that's on the right way. Does it go that way? Yeah, it goes that way. This fuel line here and this here. So I can see in the bottom of the bowl, if you look down in there, you can see there's some dirt right in here. So hopefully, there's also some stuff around this O-ring. I'm not sure whether I should mess with that too much, but we'll soak this overnight. This is the main jet here. Let's see if I can find a screwdriver to get that out. I'm not sure whether that unscrews or not. I've got a float type thing here. I think I need to get this out because I think this is the main jet, and this is where most of the gunk will be, but I'm not sure how that comes out. Not sure whether you turn it like a screwdriver. Yeah, okay. So, got that angle there, so let's... I don't know whether it's spring... Nah. Whoop, there it is. Whoops. I just wonder... Okay, it goes in like this. See that, Mr. Billy? That end goes in first. This end goes in. Let's see, this end. Oops, my light. The smaller end goes in first, and this end is left out. And that's the main jet. So hopefully this is... It doesn't look all that dirty actually, but I'll still soak it and see what happens. It'll probably end up being the fuel pump. There's another thing right here I probably shouldn't mess with. You see how that's aligned right there? This out. It's a very similar looking piece. So this piece goes into the top hole right there. This piece right here. Right into there. So I'm going to go get some carb cleaner and soak this overnight. This off. We don't need to soak this. I might be able to reuse this. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. So there it is, all disassembled. Again, this is a carburetor from a 4-horse Nissan 4-stroke outboard motor, and I've got it all disassembled. I'm going to soak it overnight, and I'm going to hope that that remedies the problem. Having it stall when I go up to speed, it idles just fine, but as soon as I try to accelerate, a minute or so after, it stalls. Okay, I've just decided that since I've gone ahead and taken the carburetor, and I'm going to clean that I'm going to do the pump as well. I believe this is the little fuel pump here. And just to make very sure that I check everything, I'm going to take that out. Take the pump off. Make sure it's clean and functioning as well. It doesn't seem to be electronic, so Okay, the camera just, whoops, witnessed how that comes on and off. I'm going to pull it out. It's got a little, okay, so that just rides back and forth, see that? See that pumping? There's a little piston there. Seems to be pumping okay to me, but we'll clean it out and see what happens. So here's the fuel pump. Ooh, I'm kind of scared to take this apart. It seems to be pumping okay. I guess we'll take it apart and see what it's made of. You can always use the paddles. One. Okay, are you watching, camera? I've got one fuel inlet here and a fuel outlet here. I'm going to lift this, try to separate it and see what we have. Ooh, that is delicate. It is very delicate. Got a little filter right there I can see. Just a little. It does look, I mean, that looks thick to me, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. That's what that looks like on the inside. Well, I've got my new favorite fuel additive, motor treatment, whatever you want to call it, seafoam, which I've been using on all kinds of stuff. It basically resurrected my weed eater, which was seemingly dead, so I'm going to soak that in this overnight. This stuff isn't cheap. It's about $11 a can, so I'm just going to make sure that, how much is still in there? I'm going to make sure that the entire carburetor is covered. Just let it soak overnight. And hopefully it'll clean out any, okay, a little bit more. It will cause it to clean overnight, and I will plop it back on and it will run flawlessly for another year. Wishful thinking, I know, but let's be optimists, shall we? That's a lot of it. I might even add that to my fuel after I've let it clean the carburetor out, just for kicks. I got the carb back on and the fuel pump back on, just going in reverse order of the video that preceded this one, and cranked it up after about 25 cranks or so. Started feeding fuel and it is running really well. I've changed the oil in the engine and the lower crankcase. I'm going to go give it a try. I'm just happy that it's running after I messed with it. So hopefully that fixed the problem. Well, the moment of truth has arrived. Will it run or won't it? Okay, so we're going to pull the choke. Got this set. Yeah. Squeeze a little bit of fuel in and come on. Okay, she wants to start up. Ow, I hate that. Squeeze a little more fuel in. after I took it over to Picnic Island and it wouldn't start, I decided that it must be the spark plug, so I went and got a new spark plug. There's a lot of dolphins around here. There's a whole pod of them over here. With the new spark plug, it started right up. So as you can see, I have made it. I'm over here at Ballast Point. The engine's right here. Let's see if it'll start. Oh, starts right up. And I'm able to go full speed. So let's go see if we can see these dolphins. City of Tampa there in the background. Just motor over here. See if these dolphins want to come investigate us. Nope, they obviously don't want to have anything to do with me.